All right, let's dive in today, huh? We're going deep on AI detection tools in education. Yeah, really fascinating stuff, actually. We're basing this deep dive on a Bloomberg Businessweek article, gets right into the thick of it. I mean, AI is everywhere these days, right? And everyone's trying to figure out, well, what does this mean for schools?
Yeah, definitely the hot topic.
Exactly. So in this deep dive, we'll break it all down for you. Help you really understand what's going on with AI detection in schools. You know what it all means. You won't believe this. Some AI detectors, they actually flagged college application essays. Real students wrote them as AI generated.
Oh, wow.
Like, seriously makes you think, right? How reliable are these tools? What happens if they get it wrong? Okay, so picture this. ChatGPT, bam, it hits the scene, and educators are like, what do we do?
Yeah.
Right, total scramble.
Wow.
AI detection tools seem like the answer, right? Quick, easy, catch those students using AI to cheat. But are they really that simple?
That's the big question, right? I mean, these AI detectors, they're not magic. It's all algorithms, pretty complex stuff. They analyze, like, sentence structure, the words you use to try and figure out, okay, is this written by a human or AI?
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, these algorithms, well, they're not perfect.
And when they mess up, it can get pretty serious. There was this student, Moira Olmsted, at Central Methodist University. She was pregnant at the time, working full-time, and studying to be a teacher. And she gets accused of using AI for an assignment.
No, no.
Not only did she get a 0, it almost messed up her whole academic record. Can you imagine? The stress, the anxiety, and she didn't even do anything wrong. I mean, she eventually proved she didn't use AI. She explained, her writing style. It's unique because she's on the autism spectrum.
That's rough.
It is, but the whole thing really shook her up,
Yeah.
Understandably, now she's afraid of being falsely accused again.
That case, it really highlights the problems with these AI detectors. Yeah. Like, how accurate are they really? And what are the limits? Makes you think, algorithms? They're only as good as the data they learn from, right?
Yeah.
And they can make mistakes. Real consequences for students.
It's like we're in this arms race, students versus the AI detectors. Students are like changing how they write, using simpler words, avoiding certain phrases, all to avoid getting flagged. Some are even using, get this, AI humanizer tools.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But the thing is, this whole situation, it's changing things between educators and students, Instead of trust and collaboration, it's all suspicion and anxiety. We're so focused on catching cheaters, or we forgetting about, actually learning. Now, to be fair, the companies making these tools, like Turnitin, CopyLeaks, GPT-0, they admit, yeah, our tech has limits. They say AI detection, it's a guide, not the final word on whether a student plagiarized or not. But even with that, I think we got to be careful about relying too much on these tools.
I agree. So then the question is, if AI detection isn't the answer, what is? Some educators are trying totally different things, like Professor Adam Lloyd at University of Maryland. He's all about open communication with his students.
Okay, interesting.
So if he thinks a student might be using AI the wrong way, he talks to them,
Yeah.
Doesn't just jump to accusations and punishment.
That's a much better approach, right? It's like instead of assuming guilt, you have a conversation, try to understand.
Right.
Might even be more effective in the long run, who knows?
Yeah, I think it definitely creates a different kind of learning environment, one where trust and communication are key. And, everyone's responsible for academic integrity.
And that brings us to the core of it, right? What do we want education to be in this age of AI? Are we all about policing and punishing? Or do we embrace the good that AI can do for learning, for empowering students?
That's the question we all need to be thinking about,
Yeah.
because how we answer it, that's going to shape the future of education.
So we've talked about the downsides of relying too much on these AI detectors. But AI is not going anywhere, is it? So what do we do now? How do educators and schools adapt to this new world?
It's important to remember AI isn't the bad guy here. It's a tool, like any tool. It can be used for good or bad. The key is figuring out how to use its potential in a way that helps education.
Right. So instead of trying to ban AI from the classroom, maybe we should be teaching students how to use it responsibly, ethically,
Exactly. We need to move from a mindset of detect to educate, give students the knowledge and skills to navigate this AI world.
I love that. AI literacy. What would that look like in practice?
Well, we can start by making AI literacy part of the curriculum.
Yeah.
Teaching students about AI, what it can do, what it can't do, how it works, and the ethics of using it.
So it's not just about using the AI tools, it's about thinking critically about AI.
Yes. We need students to be smart about information, especially now with AI-generated content everywhere. They need to know how to evaluate sources, fact or fiction. Think for themselves.
Yeah, that's so crucial, especially with how fast misinformation spreads these days.
Absolutely. We could even encourage students to use AI in their learning, for brainstorming, research, even getting feedback on their writing. The point is, AI should help their learning, not replace it.
Right, finding that balance. AI can be a fantastic resource, but it shouldn't replace those essential skills like thinking critically, analyzing things, coming up with original ideas.
Hmm.
Which means, I guess, we need to rethink how we test students, right?
You got it.
Yep.
Essays and exams, those traditional methods, they might not cut it anymore with AI around. We need new ways to assess students, ways that are tougher for AI to, well, cheat.
So what are the options?
There's some really interesting things being explored. Project-based learning, where students use their knowledge to solve real problems. More presentations, debates, group projects, stuff that AI can't easily fake.
Those are great ideas. It's about moving away from memorizing facts and just spitting them out. We need to focus on those higher level thinking skills, creative problem solving.
Exactly. And by using those kinds of assessments, we can make sure things are fair academically. But also, we're preparing students for the real world, the 21st century workplace.
Giving them the skills they need to succeed in a world full of AI. But let's be real, this isn't just about students, is it? Educators need to adapt too.
Oh, definitely. We need to be lifelong learners ourselves, right? Always keeping up with AI, learning new things, so we can help our students.
So we need to be comfortable using AI ourselves, understanding what it's good at, what it's not so good at, so we can guide our students effectively.
Exactly. And that means being willing to try new things, experiment, and learn from our mistakes.
It's a team effort, right? Students, educators, all working together to navigate this new frontier.
And that brings up another key point, communication.
Yeah.
We need to create an environment where students feel okay asking questions about AI. Like, if they're not sure if they can use AI for an assignment, they should be able to talk to their teacher. No problem.
Transparency and trust, that's so important. We need students to understand using AI the right way, that's not cheating. It's a skill, a valuable one that can help them learn.
Absolutely. And, teachers need to be open to learning from students, too.
Right. We're all in uncharted territory here. We're all figuring this out together.
Exactly. It's all about embracing the learning process, trying new things, and, sharing what works, what doesn't.
I love that. It's a growth mindset, not just for students, but for teachers too.
You got it. And by working together, we can build an education system that uses the power of AI for good, while keeping academic integrity and preparing students for the future.
Finding that balance between innovation and responsibility.
Exactly. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
But it's also an exciting opportunity.
This has been such a great conversation. It feels like we're just scratching the surface here. Any final thoughts as we wrap up this part of our deep dive?
My final thought is this. We're at a crossroads in education. AI has the power to either widen the gaps that already exist or make education fairer and more accessible for everyone. The decisions we make today, they're going to shape education for generations to come. So let's make good ones.
Powerful words, and a perfect way to head into the final part of our deep dive. Stay with us.
All right, so we've talked a lot about AI detection in education, the good, the bad, and maybe some solutions. But now I want to look ahead, like really ahead. What does this whole AI thing mean for the future of education, big picture?
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it? The million-dollar question. And it's tough to say for sure, but I think AI is going to change everything about education, like fundamentally.
It's already happening, right? We've got AI tutors, personalized learning platforms, even AI grading stuff.
Right, exactly. And as AI gets more advanced, which it will, those trends are just going to keep growing. So we need to be thinking now about how we as educators are going to adapt, how we're going to change with it. It's kind of exciting, but also kind of scary, right? AI could totally revolutionize education, but there are definitely some things to watch out for.
Absolutely. Like we talked about, the bias in algorithms, making sure student data is protected, and that AI doesn't make existing inequalities in education even worse.
And we can't forget about the human side of teaching, right? Like critical thinking, creativity, those social emotional skills. AI can't do that.
Yeah, totally. We can't just let machines take over teaching. The teacher's role is more important now than ever. But I do think AI can be a huge help to teachers.
Oh, I'm curious about that. How do you see AI changing the role of the teacher?
Okay, imagine this. Teachers have access to AI that can analyze student data, like instantly. It can pinpoint where students are struggling and then recommend personalized help. Teachers spend less time grading, more time actually helping students one-on-one.
Wow, that would be amazing. Teachers could focus on what they do best, right? Connecting with students, inspiring them, guiding them.
Right. And AI could also help teachers make learning more engaging, more interactive.
Yeah.
Like, imagine AI-powered simulations that bring history to life, or virtual labs where students can do science experiments safely.
That's incredible. AI could really unlock a whole new level of creativity and innovation in how we teach.
I think so. But, like with anything new, there will be bumps in the road.
Mm.
We got to be willing to experiment, learn from our mistakes, and work together, share what we learn.
And we have to make sure AI is used ethically, fairly, so it benefits all students, not just some.
Absolutely. We can't assume AI is going to magically fix all our education problems. It's up to us to decide how we use it and make sure it helps our students and society as a whole.
I love that. That's a great point to end on. We've covered a lot today, but this is just the beginning of the conversation about AI in education. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we hope you'll keep thinking about how AI is shaping the future of learning. And that's our show for today. Thanks for tuning in.